Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about curb appeal, but from a different perspective. So we're going to be talking about how to add curb appeal to a rental property on a budget. So we have been getting good feedback from some of the investment property podcasts we've been doing. So we have a couple of topics that we're going to keep adding to the podcast rotation. So if there's something specific you would like to hear, email me, Lindsay at mycreativedays.com, or reach out to me on Instagram at mycreativedays. Like I always say, your input, your thoughts, your messages are so helpful for the podcast, and let me know exactly what you want to hear. So today we're going to dive into a topic that's crucial for rental property owners: how to boost the curb appeal without spending a lot of money. So as you know, we are right now as I'm recording this, in the middle of fixing up a property that we are going to rent out. So we have done both rentals and flips. And today we're talking about just as a rental owner, you do want your property to stand out for the right reasons. A well-maintained exterior attracts high-quality tenants. It increases the perceived value of your rental, and it can even help justify higher rent. But let's be real, we don't want to be spending a fortune on upgrades that aren't going to really bring a return on the investment. So I'm going to share, how many do I have here? I'm going to share 10 ways that you can add curb appeal to your rental without breaking the bank. And these are simple things. These are even things that you could do to your own home. I've done a podcast on that, but that just kind of spruces up the overall curb appeal of your home or whatever. But we are talking about rental properties today. So number one, freshen up the front door. So the front door is the first thing tenants see, so make it pop. A fresh coat of paint will do wonders. The house that we are working on right now, it's not my favorite door by any means. If I was flipping it, I would want a new front door, but it's perfectly fine. It works. It's not, it's not broken. It's not even chipping. So I just gave it a fresh coat of paint. But if you want to add, the house that we have, the new siding is yellow, so everything else is white. So I just went with a fresh coat of white paint. But, a fun pop of color on the front door can give it so much character, and it's just going to make it pop and stand out in the neighborhood. So another thing to think about is old house numbers. So make sure that the house numbers are, not falling down. They're, you can see them. Maybe just buying some new house numbers or like a door knocker, just those little things that can go a long way. Upgrade the exterior lighting. So this is another thing that actually the lighting that on the house is okay. It's good. There's a light on the garage that we are going to change, but good lighting makes a home feel safer and more welcoming. Replace the outdated light fixtures. If they're fine and they're working, maybe they just need to be spray painted. Spray paint and paint are your friends when you have a rental property. So if it's just like you don't mind the look of them, but they're just kind of look a little, outdated, or maybe a fresh coat of paint is all they need. Motion sensor or solar powered lights go like along the walkway, or like for us, we've been talking about that on the garage. It's a inexpensive way to boost security and style on your rental. Tidy up the landscaping. So a neat and well-maintained yard goes a long way, and it's elbow grease, right? It's just a little bit of work. If you don't want high maintenance landscaping, so it depends on how you're going to set up your rental. Are the renters in charge of, the yard, the landscaping, and those kinds of things? Or is that something that you are going to either do yourself or hire out? You show up once a week and mow the yard, whatever it is. But if you don't want high maintenance landscaping, stick to easy to care for plants. Mulch beds, trimmed bushes, use perennials that come back year after year to save on replanting costs if that's something you're going to add. That's not something you have to have. But just know whatever you put in, it needs to be maintained, and renters, they don't own the property, so they may not maintain it like you do. So really keep in mind with what you're putting in the yard, and just think, a good rule of thumb is, okay, I have to take care of this. Even if you have it in the lease or whatever that they need to take care of it or whatever, just think I have to take care of this. So what am I going to want to deal with? That's kind of a good, what do I want to say, kind of scale of what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And so that helps you narrow down what you want to put in the yard. Window boxes or planters. So again, this is something that this may not work for everybody. You can add them. You don't have to add them, but it is just something that adds a little bit more, just a welcoming feel to the house. But you're definitely, again, you don't want to have something that requires constant watering because your tenants probably aren't going to do that. But it can make a really big visual impact for little money. But just think again, are they going to take care of this? You don't want to have a house where the tenants have, a long list of monthly things to take care of, right? That may deter them from wanting to rent from you. So just keep that in mind when you're making these decisions. Pressure wash everything inside and out. I say that because cleaning inside and out of the rental property, that sometimes that's all it takes. That's what we have been doing a lot in this house because this house, somebody wasn't living there for many years. So it was vacant. And then the people that lived there, they weren't taking care of it. They weren't cleaning. Like we're still finding things and we're like, do you think they ever clean this? No, they did never clean. So sometimes your property just needs a good cleaning. Pressure wash the siding, the walkways, the driveway, the fence if you have a fence. Dirt and grime can make a property look older than it is. And that is something I actually look for. I look for the dirt and grime on a property when I'm looking for properties to reach out about. So definitely a good cleaning can go a long way. Update the mailbox. A dingy, outdated mailbox doesn't give off a great first impression. So just updating that, you can sometimes find them at yard sales or thrift stores. Check your local restore shops. It's a simple and affordable way to add curb appeal. Repair or paint the fence. So if you have any kind of fence, make sure that it's in good shape. A fresh coat of paint or stain, depending on what kind of fence you have, it can just make the property look well kept. So definitely you want to, repair anything on the fence that needs to be repaired, and then obviously paint it, stain it if it needs that as well. Define the walkway. So a clear, attractive path to the front door makes a property, again, feel more inviting, like this is home, like I can see myself coming here, every day. If you don't have a defined walkway, consider adding inexpensive pavers or gravel or edging to create a more polished look to the front door. Install shutters or faux window enhancements. So shutters add so much charm, and not all homes need it. Right? So you may have a place that doesn't need shutters, and that's fine. But sometimes just adding some shutters to the windows just makes it's like the smallest thing that can make the biggest difference on the front of a house. Painting trim around windows, if you've got, wood that you're painting, that making sure that those are, scrape it well and give it a fresh coat of paint. Just those little things go a long way for enhancing the curb appeal. Keep trash bins out of sight. So I know this sounds weird, but designate a discrete area for trash bins. So like a simple fence panel or storage solution, depending on what you have set up, it can just help keep them out of sight and maintain a clean, welcoming, uncluttered, non-trash look. You know what I mean? Like it's not just, I see trash bins, and that's the trash and the recycling bin. And then you've got we call them yardies here. I don't know if that's what you call them, but like there's like 19 different trash cans you need anymore. And so just to keep those, not that it just looks like, okay, this is all where the trash goes, just kind of keep those out of sight. And, a simple fence panel or something to hide those can go a long way. So boosting curb appeal does not have to be expensive. Again, shop estate sales, yard sales, your local restore shop. And it doesn't require a lot of attention to detail. The goal is to just make the rental look well maintained and desirable. You want your renters to show up looking at the property and thinking, okay, these people are taking care of it. And then you want those renters to be like, okay, I'm going to have to take care of it. These owners are not going to, I'm not going to get by doing the bare minimum. Like these owners take pride in their property. And so, that's the kind of people I want to rent from. And that's how I'm going to treat this property. Like, it's a give and take. That's the kind of overall feeling and vibe you want to give these people when they're coming to look at it, because you want them to treat the property like it is their own and really take care of it while they're there. So it's for something that doesn't cost a lot of money, it makes the biggest difference. So I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed the podcast and found it helpful, I'd love if you take just a minute to rate and review the podcast, no matter where you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else. Your support truly helps. It not only helps more people find the show, but it also lets me know what kind of content you're loving. So if you have a second, tap the stars, leave a quick review, and just know that I appreciate every single one of them. It truly, truly helps us. Thanks for being here. I will chat with you next time. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so, so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.